Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fighting Couch Potatoes. I'm Liquid Gold Steve, and I'm sitting here with MattMatt.
Vegito is the better fusion.
And Kadawfi Crush.
But Gogeta has a slick vest.
It is a slick-ass vest.
All right, motherfuckers. I think Gogeta's better. Gogeta is better than Vegito.
You just like people throwing Stardust at people. That's fine.
With that
I ain't
unitard.
with that Stardust shit.
No, he threw dust at him, and the man exploded. That's all I gotta say.
No, he just
all right, we're not talking about.
No, man, we're not doing. You know what? We're gonna do a Dragon Ball episode. And I'm gonna explain why Gogeta is.
We should make one
Vegeta,
about movie villains.
We should do something like that.
All right. Continuing on, we're really talking about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. TV anime that came out recently in 2021?
22.
22?
Yeah. 2 years after the game came out.
And it resurrected Cyberpunk.
It did.
I'm not a fan of Cyberpunk. I have played a couple times.
That game's dope.
Those bugs were fucking horrendous.
Yes, they were.
But that anime made me want to play it again. And MattMatt has told me, the resident Cyberpunk expert. He told me that the bugs have gone away. The game is good, so I have to try it. But the show made me really jump on it. Kadawfi, for the person that actually watched it, or actually watched
Y'all
it.
didn't watch it?
We didn't watch it. We didn't watch it.
Made me watch all that shit.
Show's over. Thank you for listening to Couch Potatoes.
Watched it all by myself then.
No, I should reword it. Kadawfi, for a person that's I've watched it a couple times. This is the first time you're watching it. How did you feel about it?
Honest opinions.
Honest opinion. I don't care.
Honest opinion. We nothing.
I have my opinion. You have your opinion. My opinion might be better, but.
So what I liked about the show was essentially it felt like we were in the same universe or the same like time period as like Ghost in a Shell. And instead of dealing with high-end, high-grade military people, we were dealing with the street-level people and the bullshit they get into. And I thought that was really cool. I actually, just based off of Cyberpunk, I could give a fuck less. I just never cared about Cyberpunk, whether it failed into oblivion or came back, or I just didn't give a shit. It wasn't a game that intrigued me. You know, just wasn't something that went, hey man, you should really get into this. It was kind of like, okay, watch everybody suck its dick and then watch it crash and burn or be successful. I just don't care. Watching the show, however, well, that completely changed my mind. I'm kind of curious about how Cyberpunk works now, because watching the show, I was able to pick up like elements of like what gameplay is probably like. Especially like when you have like the team element, you have like I was sitting there able to like, okay, this motherfucker here's DPS, this motherfucker here, they got 2 support classes with them. You know, I didn't really see like a healing class, which is cool. You know, I mean, you know, real life motherfuckers can't just be healed. You know, ain't no orange juice you can just drink and be straight.
They do have the auto docs. They showed that a little bit.
Right. That
was
was
adrenaline shots.
Right. Which that was, I don't know if that, because I mean, that's your adrenaline shot. You know, that's something that kind of like doesn't heal you, but it lets you ignore the damage. At least from what I could tell.
It's like a buffer.
Yeah, like a nerve blocker. It's a muscle relaxer. I don't know. But like, I don't know. I actually really did like the show. I liked our characters that we got. And before we get like really, really started, I spent maybe 6 episodes swearing to God that Kiwi and Lucy were the same person.
No, man. No.
Because I was like, all right. So when she get gangster, she put her mask on. And
that's not a mask. That's not a fucking mask.
And then like she threw up, and I was like, all right, so she ain't got her mask on right now because she threw up. And then I was like, these ain't the same women. So I missed something crazy. I had to go back and figure it out. It was kind of stupid.
Kiwi's more of a bitch than Lucy, but Kiwi's more of a badass than Lucy too.
Kiwi's more of a deeper net runner. Because as you saw in the show, some people, like one of our central plots of the show, some people were chromed out versus others.
Hold on. We're going too far. What is this show?
What is this show?
Who's hosting today?
Steve.
Liquid Gold Steve. What the fuck is this show? What is Cyberpunk Edgerunners? What is it? Shit. Anybody else gonna say something? Just fucking project, nigga. I gotta have it over here because y'all's voices are mad louder than mine. Anyway.
What is Edgerunners? Edgerunners is another name for Cyberpunk for some goddamn reason. So it's Cyberpunk.
No, that's not what it is at all.
That's what you told me. But
Do you want me to explain?
Did you not watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
It explains it.
Then explain it.
Well,
Tell them.
I must have skipped that part.
All right.
Like you didn't see that
right, fuck
Kiwi
it.
and Lucy was different.
Matt, what the fuck is Cyberpunk Edgerunners?
So Cyberpunk Edgerunners is an anime based on the 2020 game Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk is a genre of media where society has crashed and burned, and we're in the dark future. Everyone's either owned by a corporation, or they're a nomad going to do their own thing. Everyone's carrying a fucking gun, if y'all hadn't noticed. Like, absolutely fucking everyone on the street has a fucking gun.
Everybody's strapped.
Because everyone's gotta be. The fucking police don't show up for days on end because they're backed up so bad.
And
Like,
the
this is
ambulance.
not a happy story. This was never a happy story. And the reason the show is called Edgerunners is because mercenaries in the city, or in Night City, who all they want to do is make a name for themselves, have to live on the edge. Ergo, Edgerunners. Cyberpunk
So they have to
is
live
the
on
genre.
They have to live on the edge.
They have to live on the edge.
of a broken,
City.
scary, terrifying, already on the edge society.
Yes, because
So they got to the edge of the edge of the edge of shit. They was like
They're
hanging
real
out.
edgy.
They were like for real hanging out.
You know
like on
how
the
you know how
razor's edge.
you know how bad this society is. Let me tell you a story from the game. There's a mission in the game where one of your buddies has a dead woman in her apartment. So she got in the tub, cut her wrist for reasons unknown unless you play the game. Your friend calls the police, reports the dead body, and they're like, "Oh, put her on ice. We'll be there in a day." Because she was in a low-end apartment and didn't have coverage. You saw like the trauma team and MaxTac and all that.
Yep.
Which at the start of the show, they had.
Hold on, before we get really in deep, let's talk about the start of the show, because this is where we came to do is talk about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Not we can bring in the game, but first thing you see in the first episode is someone going cyber psycho. I think it was a ex-military, ex-police officer.
He was ex-military, which they have private militias in this world.
Yeah,
Because
MaxTac
everything's
is a
owned
private-
by a corporation. You have MaxTac, which is basically the SWAT of the police or Night City. Then you have Trauma Team has their own type of that's Allstate coming to pick you up if y'all hadn't noticed. Like, you in good hands with them.
What, MaxTac or the coverage team?
That's them. Or no, not MaxTac. MaxTac's the SWAT. The trauma team is Allstate. You have all your fucking gangs that you saw in there. But yeah, Steve, tell us how this story starts.
A double-barrel shotgun to two cops blew them away. This man was insane.
Going stupid. It's 5 seconds into the show.
He had knee blades? I didn't even know you could have knee blades when I first watched it.
You can't have knee blades.
He
Sadly.
could.
He could.
He could. He didn't need them.
He was knee blading it up.
He sliced a man in half and pushed him away like he was a butterfly.
Yeah, he was get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. This and then MaxTac show up because
When MaxTac shows up, we're all fucked, basically.
when I watched it over again, when they shot him, they were taking away his implants, or were they taking away his body armor?
They were
Or were they just
they were
killing
just
him?
shooting him.
Oh, okay.
Because he had the reason he wasn't getting blown away immediately was because he had armored skin.
Okay, that's what was coming off of him probably.
You know, because people out here can do that to themselves in this world. They upgrade themselves with cybernetic implants. And the reason that the dude was like that was because he had put so many implants in himself that his brain couldn't fucking handle it.
Too much chrome.
Too much chrome. He chromed out and gonked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when people get too many piercings And it's like, damn, bro. Like,
That's your life now.
Don't walk near a magnet.
Whole face just turned. Like,
God.
Never go to a junkyard, then your ass will be dead.
It's over,
But this
bro.
isn't the story of some random cyber psycho we met on the street. This is the story of David Martinez, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because that was actually just a BD, pretty much a dream.
It's a
Because
virtual
it's-
reality
it's-
something.
It's not a dream because it's happened. And they take that experience and they sell it on
The market.
What, the black market?
It's
or is
like
it
a
just the
drug for
market?
these people
Basically.
to watch other people's like wild ass experiences. And like, they're like, cause like you're not like watching it, you're like living it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're right in their shoes at that moment.
You're just kind of going through the motions on, doing what they did until it's over.
It's like one of those rides at like Disney World where you have a whole fucking big screen. You feel all the movement, and then your ass feels all the pain though.
Yeah, you feel all of the emotion. But so this kind of starts out. The reason that this cyber psycho dude was so important is the mother of David Martinez was the one to pick her up or pick his body up after Max Tack got finished with his ass. And
Yeah.
we were met by we don't meet her immediately. We start at school because David was a school kid. He's like 17.
And he had the fake junkie implant that was trying to pass it because he didn't have enough money to be at a Arasaka.
No, he's enrolled in the school.
He is, but
they
he
don't give him the equipment.
Yeah, he don't
has
have the
to pay
money
for that.
Yeah. So he doesn't have the money, so he goes and gets a faulty secondhand implant for the school and shuts everybody up on the at the in the classroom.
Yeah, he starts breaking scouters and shit.
He
Yeah,
pretty much did.
No, he really did.
Everything
Pretty
started
much. He
exploding.
started breaking scouters.
And then the rich guy, the snotty rich guy shows up and
I kind of like that dude.
hey, the fucking hand movements and started beating his ass.
Like, bro, I
started
kinda-
beating the shit out of him.
I kind of like that guy. The snobby rich kid. He was all right.
Katsuo, I think.
He was like
He
the
was
kid
a
to
minor
the-
character. He never showed up after like I think the second episode, but
Yeah, but his story isn't finished. We're gonna get to that though.
his daddy's story ain't finished. But
No, not yet. Anyway,
so he goes to school. Then he meets his mom.
Mhm.
His mom picks him up from school because of the incident with the faulty secondhand implant, and then she just dies.
yeah,
She
from a
get-
drive-by.
Oh, she didn't just like up and die. I mean,
Well, it was a
like,
drive-by, but
She got hospitalized.
I mean, all right. So like, there was a drive-by, and they like on the highway, and like during it's more of like not like a drive-by because everybody was on the highway. It was like a gang fight,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of shooting over the car which David and his mother were in, these motherfuckers shot right through it.
Yeah.
And like, mind you, they ain't hit nobody. They hit nobody. They
Well,
straight
they hit.
they straight goose egg.
hold on.
Then they started shooting the truck that they were chasing down and like caused that to blow up, which David and his mom ran into the explosion.
Mhm.
And this causes a car accident, which thus David's mother never recovers and perishes in the hospital.
Because he can't pay he can't afford the package.
Coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's on like the lowest package there is. Even though, you know what's really fucked up? She's a fucking medical worker. She runs, or
She
she's
can get, like, at
she's
least
EMS.
mid-grade. She at least get mid-grade. fucking
That's
health.
probably why she was in there. But like that doesn't cover her in like anything.
I mean, in real life, medical workers don't have top dog coverage.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I was about to say
Maybe we're
mid-grade.
closer to Cyberpunk than we think.
You know?
We got some moments. Skipping ahead a little bit.
Hold on. David gets into a slump, like a real bad slump, because his mom dies.
His mom died. She got put into a vending machine. I'd be sad too. Like, how are they gonna give her to him like it's a soda can?
Here's
Remember
your
how
mom-
that shit
here's
falls
your
out the
mom.
machine? It sounds just like a fucking Coke, man.
It's just, you know, they didn't give a, she was a nobody. They didn't give a fuck.
Here's your mom
She didn't
in
have the
a-
right package.
Sorry, kid.
That's real. That's like real. Like, and you're right, Matt. It is really depressing because if you don't have the money, if you're not corpo, then you're a fucking street rat.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, I mean, like, Cyberpunk is just like essentially our world, but the higher up said, yeah, motherfucker. Instead of like, no, that's not how it is. No, in Cyberpunk, they were like, Yeah.
No, we own everything.
Yeah.
Amazon and Disney now own everything.
Fuck you gonna do about it?
Disney is now own everything. We're talking about other things. All right.
Wait a minute.
This is when he meets Lucy.
No,
on the bus.
no.
This is where.
Oh,
this is where,
yeah.
He puts his first implant in.
Wait, before the first implant, he was all depressed and hung up about his mama because she was a soda can person now. And then the
soda can person.
Well, see, the snotty rich kid approached him with his homies, and like in any other show, somebody about to get their ass beat, probably gonna get jumped, and you're gonna hate this kid, right, for jumping David, especially at a time like this where he's all upset. And like, I actually kind of like the interaction they had. Because dude was like, I don't not like you because you're poor. It's like, poor kids can fucking rise to the top too, just like everybody else. You just got to pay your fucking dues. And the problem is that your mom essentially gave her fucking life for you to have this opportunity and your bitch ass is squandering it. Like, do her some fucking justice, asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And
so the rich kid fucking just gave him a life lesson?
He gave him a verbal life lesson. And it was like, just so you know, I am about to fuck you up. Like,
I reserve the right to fuck you up.
He was like, I didn't just come here to talk to you and let you know that, like, you're a piece of shit. Like, no, I'm going to beat you so you understand how much of a piece of shit you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And David pulls up some little, like, was it Steel Hands or some shit he had? Some shitty program he had to help him fight. And this dude was like, motherfucker, you tripping. Watch this. I'm martial law.
Yeah, right. He turned into It Man.
Like, he really did too. I mean, and it was like, he threw so many hands and like he just battered David.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, bro, I've seen eggs not get beat that bad. I mean, he wore David's ass out. And him send his bitch ass home, go home to nothing, bitch.
Damn.
It's just like, get him dirty. So I mean, like, after that, like, David goes and catches up with the doc.
Ripper Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He calls him Doc, right?
Yeah, it's a Ripper Doc.
It's a Ripper Doc.
A Ripper Doc. Now, help me out with so I actually got to watch this show with my neighbor Jacob, who had played Cyberpunk, he hadn't beat it, so he could tell me about some of the things that were very similar.
You got questions?
Like,
let me hear it.
So real simple. What is a Ripper Doc exactly? Like, why is he called a Ripper Doc? What do they do?
A Ripper Doc is an it's a doctor who can't really, like, he doesn't work in a hospital, right? He's like a tattoo artist.
He's like
almost.
He's like an alleyway doctor.
Yeah. And he's the one you go to when you want to install implants. Now you should know this. There are good Ripper Docs.
Yeah.
And then there are the bad ones.
Right.
David happens to know one of the bad ones.
Yeah, one of the shit.
If you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
He was on the slab.
Yeah,
awake.
he was on awake.
Yeah.
Like, because he wanted to put it.
So hold on. Slow down.
Go ahead.
So, all right, Ripper Docs. So Ripper Docs are essentially the bootleg men of the day. Hey, want to buy my CD out the trunk ass motherfuckers. These are the people who
little bit more legit than that.
They can do you a favor, but it's gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They're the guys who put the Jagan eye in Hiei's head.
Almost.
Yeah, like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna hurt like shit.
Some of them will knock you out.
Right. The good ones.
The gooder ones.
The gooder ones.
Had a liquid gold moment. And
the gooder ones.
So, like, all right, so he went to see the Ripper Doc. Now, something I want to point out, like, we talked about, like, how shitty this world is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and something I wanted to point out was, like, all right, first day of school, we see David go to school, and there's a dude tweaking the fuck out on the side, not the side of a road, but like the stairs. He's like tweaking the fuck out, like, gone. And then there's another guy directly above him with a VR headset on thingy and apparently an automated jack-off set of underwear.
Yeah.
Like a set of underwear
that
just jerks you off.
Dude, that's their drugs. Well, that's not all their drugs, but that's their thing. That's the escape.
That's their thing.
Because I can't afford the lifestyle, but I can afford the experience.
I can afford, and so, like, they also showed the Ripper Doc using it, but what I'm getting at is people used it so freely, that thing, that jerk off underwear set. Because, like, you see it like 8 times.
You stuck on that one. There it is again. It's the same guy.
It's like that's a lot. Like, Jeepers creepers, bro. And it was like, I thought it was interesting, like just how far down society had gone, where it was like it's totally okay to be in your drawers, getting your dick jerked off by an automated jerk off machine in public.
There's like, I'm not bullshitting you. There's like a 75% chance that dude's homeless.
Well, I'm sure, but like everybody's homeless.
I'm not joking.
Like everybody who has a job is homeless, damn near.
Yeah.
Like, the way they set that society up. So yeah, Ripper Doc. Jerk off machine.
Jerk off machine.
Like, I thought it was funnier that he had a jerk off machine and he had something like 30 sets of hands. Why have so many hands?
You never know.
Maybe he wants a different touch.
It's just like, if you're going to use a jerk off machine, why have so many different hands? But so he would use those hands, essentially, those different type hands for like the surgeries and shit that he would do on people and the implants and whatnot. All right, that was pretty interesting. I actually kind of like how the world set up, even with the jerk off underwear.
Yeah,
the jerk off.
Well, that's one thing that's cool about the show, that it shows you. Because
10 years
in the game, you see it a couple times where you're getting implanted, but not. Or in the show, it shows a lot more.
Right.
Because like the centerpiece to our whole show, the Sandevistan, right?
Sandevistan.
That shit's sweet. I want one. Tell me I'm wrong. That shit's kind of cool.
I don't want it.
I think you're wrong.
You think I'm wrong?
We'll get to the end of this episode, and I'll tell you why I think you're wrong.
Do you have a favorite implant that you saw?
No.
None?
Well, kind of. I'll explain at the end of the episode.
So you got to see that installed, and then how the doctor was like, "Hey, try to be sparing with this."
Hold on. You're gonna skip over the part?
No, the doctor was like, "Hey, yo, here's some fucking medicine. Don't do this too much."
He didn't give him medicine.
Yeah, the first time he did when he implanted it, he did.
No, that was
after
Lucy. He didn't give him the medicine.
That was because he was fucked up. That's right.
Because the kid was able to take it, and like the doctor didn't have anything capable to assist with the Sandevistan. It was like, here you go.
Because it was military grade hardware.
Take this.
But we're still not going to talk about it. His spine was ripped out of his body just to transfer a fucking Sandevistan into his.
Think about it. That cutting scene was awful.
That was awesome.
It was a great scene. I loved how it looked. Because like he was like, all right, you're going to bite down on this bar and I'm going to take your spine out.
He was like butchering that kid too.
Yeah.
Like he was butchering
He's
that
17, man.
He was like,
he's a kid.
He was like this, put this in. And this motherfucker
said, all right. Put on his new set of hands.
And went to town.
But yes, he didn't have anything. And then didn't he go back to his school to show up the bully?
He did. And he didn't even clean the blood off. Because the implant hadn't set yet. He still had the scar tissue and everything. And he went into class and beat the shit out of his bully.
Like his jacket was all bloody and shit because of like the scar tissue. But yeah, he went in there and like, all right, so the Sandevistan, it's like a spinal upgrade, right? That you can get implanted into your person.
It's your nervous system.
And it allows you to essentially not slow down time, but to see and move faster than.
Pretty much like the Flash.
No.
How?
It speeds up your reaction time a lot, but it makes time seem slow to you. You get what I mean?
And I mean, it's really slow. It's really, really slow.
Because you're seeing when we go into that little stopping time thing, like it's not completely stopped if you hadn't noticed. Right, because shit's still going. You can't just stop time.
Because he's not stopping time.
There's a person that can stop time.
Up.
There's a person that can stop time.
In the show?
Goldo.
Shut up.
Time free.
Or the Worldo.
Nope. Different podcast.
All right, hold on.
No, I'm not holding on for shit. I was explaining something, dickhead.
Well, I want to ask how
and you how is it on you?
How is it different than like
stopping time?
It's not the Flash. I know this is not the Flash. Yes, the Sandevistan doesn't act like the Flash, but yes, quicker reaction time, slows time around you.
Okay. Yeah, so
because you only have it for a short time, that's understandable too.
Different implants could give you different cooldowns and times that you could do it. But the way it works is it's speeding up your reaction time to everything, but making time seem slow to you. That's why it would slow down in the show, and then you saw the fucking after image with him moving around, because that's what they're seeing is that after image, like where he's at the start of it. It's after image. Is what it is.
After image.
They're not even seeing that. they're not even seeing the after image.
They're showing
they're showing
coming
us
from.
the after image because it's stylized, but like the other characters aren't even seeing that. Like it's like David's here, David's gone, and like when they first showed him use it, they were able to show like the rich kid, whatever his damn name was.
Katsu.
He got busy and was getting ready to power up his next level fucking martial law, forest law combo on his ass. And I mean, he was still charging up his little maneuvers. He was doing the trunks. He was doing that shit. And like David was like, he I guess it was him understanding what the Sandevistan really did. He walked around him, kind of like that Spider-Man scene when sorry ass Tobey Maguire motherfucking looked at dude's fist two to four times and was like, oh man, shit just chilling. But like it was even faster than that because like he walked around the room and got next to dude and was like, oh, I guess I can punch you. And then like, I mean, he knocked that kid's lights fucking out.
Yep.
That was over. Cut the cake, bro. That was done for. So I mean, like that Sandevistan is super fast, but they also didn't show like when they go back and show like what really happened, they don't show that after image. They just show David here,
because
David
it's so
gone.
fast,
right? And it's like they don't even see that shit. Like, it's just incredible.
It's a blink of an eye.
Yeah, but he gets kicked out of school, and now
He gets expelled.
he does. Yeah.
You
But
beat up the
he didn't give a
president-
shit.
You beat up the principal's son. Yeah, you're gonna get
He didn't
kicked
get
out.
expelled. He got in trouble and had to go home for the day. But the Arasaka president was like, "Oh no, tell him to come back.
Yeah,
Tell him to come back."
It's because of the Sandevistan.
It's because of the Sandevistan because he got busy with that, and they was like, "Oh, little bitch, motherfucker can take it. All right, bring him
Because
back."
they've been looking for it because it's been took
Because the last person who had it,
was his mother.
well, she's the last person who had it, like physically, but the first person who was installed on, he wasn't capable. He was like a military, genius monster, man.
Yeah,
And
they
that
probably
shit-
made him go psycho.
And that shit drove his ass nuts. Which I'm curious, was that the guy we initially got to see?
Yes,
The first guy?
isn't that right? I thought that
Where
was
he got the Sandevistan from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, is that who
that's
that
his
came from?
implant. Yeah.
Okay.
That's because his
'Cause she
mother
picked
was
it up and
she
she's-
pulled
right.
it out.
Right, because we'll get there.
to give to
Which I
another
didn't
person.
like that twist.
Hmm.
I didn't like that twist.
That she was trying to sell it.
No, not that. Never mind. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. We're
Oh,
we're
I know what you're talking
we're
about. I get you.
We're like right there.
So we meet Lucy after this, and Lucy's stealing people's credit chips out their neck on the subway.
taking
Maybe-
wallets, essentially.
Yeah.
He
And
Yep.
she quick with it, too.
Mhm.
She quick.
Damn right she is.
as a nut runner for you.
Yeah, but she was out here just snatching shit. And she's about to snatch David's, but he turned on his Sandevistan and caught her ass.
Like, whoa,
he
whoa.
he caught her real slick too. It was just like, I was like, oh, this dude's a main character. Okay, I get you. I mean, if
He wasn't the main character yet.
if the jacket and the hairstyle didn't tell you, that catch of that told you
The
right there.
jacket grew on me because it took a while till he
He had to customize it first.
shit looked nice.
He felt like Rocksteady and Bebop for me at the same time.
But no, that.
But yeah, he met Lucy, and then they started taking chips from other people,
she got a paycheck out of his ass, and
and
then
he got a paycheck out
and
of her
then
ass too.
and then she introduced him to the gang.
Hold on,
Oh man, I love how she did it too. I love how she did. This is like, let me
moon?
get this one. Let me get this
The
one.
moon? Yeah, go ahead.
Let me slide down this one right here. So he meets up this gangster bitch, motherfucking Lucy. She's trill as all can be. She got pretty little hair and she wears a cute little outfit, I guess. But anyway, she decides like after the end of the day or whatever, they gonna go and kick it at her place. They kick it at her place. Next thing they show is them laying on the bed with these like VR things on. But in between them is a pack of condoms. So you insinuate that, oh man, they had some booty time, and then they're on the moon, and she's showing him this really cool like visual or BD as it's called.
It's a brain dance.
A brain dance.
That's
I
what
like
it's called.
that. A brain dance. Showing a cool BD of them on the moon and and then next thing you know, this dude gets woken up by this gorilla of a man.
He looked like Barrett.
And-
He looked
and
like
like-
Barrett.
and like, bro, like I didn't know people could get Team Rocketed in that show. But man, Team Rocket's blasting off again. Like, there's no worse way that meet a new girl, beat the cheeks, have a cool little dream sequence with
Did
him,
not. He didn't.
and
he
then He beat them cheeks.
No, he didn't.
He
He
beat
did.
them
No,
cheeks.
No, he didn't, because later.
What do you mean? Because later,
There's a part later.
he beat them cheeks.
No, he
There's
didn't.
a condom.
No, he didn't.
It's
He-
implied that he
No, he
beat them
didn't.
cheeks.
No, he didn't. It was the implication he thought he was going to
He
get.
thought he was going
Well,
to.
he was
and
supposed
then
to be-
Gorilla Man showed up and
He was
said,
supposed to
"Bitch, you
beat them
stupid."
cheeks. I must have misunderstood the context of the condom, the open condom wrapper. In
You
the
were
bed.
stuck on the guy on the side street with the jack off machine.
Probably.
He was still what the
right.
fuck?
Meet Gorilla Man.
Right.
Meet Gorilla Man.
Now, the Gorilla Man, his name is Maine.
Maine.
And to me, he looked like Birdie from Street Fighter. But, everybody think, what they want to think. Barrett.
It looked like
What'd
Barrett.
you call him?
No, he's just a Gorilla Man.
Just
But
Gorilla Man. He looked like the that Gorilla Man from One Punch Man.
I don't care. Maine's
Maine's a homie.
I like Maine.
Maine is a homie.
Maine got Mega Man arms.
Yup.
He got a guile haircut.
Oh yeah, it's
and
called
he's got the
projectile.
projectile.
Fuck. I forgot what the full name of it is.
The projectile launcher. In his
It's a
left-
grenade
in his
launcher
left
in his arm.
Talking about the Mega Man launcher.
It's a grenade launcher.
Talking about the Mega Man cannon.
He got his implants don't make sense because he has the gorilla arms and he has the projectile launcher.
Because he wanted it.
That doesn't make sense because the gorilla arms are one thing and the projectile is a different thing. But
He don't care.
I digress.
I mean, you can mix mods, can't you?
In the show or in the game, fuck no.
Well, not in the game. You
But in the
gotta have-
show, yeah,
you gotta
it
have
makes
limitations
sense.
somehow.
But
Yeah, you meet the gang, and they try to take the Sand stand from
Who's
him.
all in the gang?
It is
Because
Maine?
we got Maine, Big Gorilla Man.
I don't think we have Rebecca yet.
We got Lucy. She's
I can love Rebecca.
She's my favorite.
Rebecca's my favorite.
She's amazing. So
he's gonna hate talking
so-
about it later.
so I mean, essentially meeting the whole gang because there was one dude I didn't know was part of the gang for a long time. I still don't know
The
his
guy
name.
with the fingers.
Nah.
Falco.
Not
You're
Falco.
talking about doing a mustache.
bro,
That's
he-
Falco.
Falco showed up. Like, what are you doing? And then when he showed up
Hold
later,
on.
I was like, oh, he nice. Oh, he's actually
He's-
been drilled this whole time.
But you need a good getaway driver though.
I mean,
That's why.
But you didn't know he was a good driver. Or I didn't know. Anyway. So we got Falco,
We got,
Maine, Lucy, Kiwi. We got
Pillar or Pilla?
Pilla.
Hyla. The dude with the long
Pilar?
fingernails. I thought his name was Hyla.
Was that his name?
It's Pilar. Peeler?
Peeler?
Rebecca's brother.
Pilar.
Yeah, Rebecca's brother, whatever.
Pillar.
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 Hyler.
Pillar.
Pillar?
But it's not two L's.
Pillar?
Whatever. The dude died real early, so
Pillar.
Shut
What is it? Becca and who else we got?
Kiwi. Well, we said
Hold on.
Kiwi.
So Maine, Rebecca,
Maine.
Lucy, Kiwi, Falco, Pilla, and I think that's it. And then David. David was the
Fucking Maine's girlfriend.
Doria.
Oh, and
Doria.
Whoa,
Doria,
man.
sweet.
Whoa, what? Oh man,
We
what an
forgot to
awesome
get
creature.
We were about to forget her.
You about to
Damn.
forget one of the best members of the team. So essentially, he gets with this team, and they were gonna snatch that Sandevistan shit out of him, weren't they? And sell it.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
kind of the
No,
point.
it was Maine's. He bought that from his mom,
Right, but like they were gonna snatch it out of him. Is what
Yeah.
I was. They was gonna,
Yeah.
They was gonna, yeah.
but they weren't going to sell it.
And
Maine was
then they
gonna-
figured out who he was.
Right, and it was like, oh shit, and that's when I think the story took a turn that I thought I wasn't gonna like fully, but it worked itself out for me.
Mm-hmm.
When
Yeah.
they told you that old girl was part of the crew, Ms. Martinez. They told her she was part of the crew and she was a runner. And it was like, well, what do you mean? Also, she was like a super mercenary monster the whole time and was out here trying to force this boy to go get a good education and shit.
Gotta make money somehow.
So he doesn't have to do what she had
I
to
just
do.
kind of didn't like that turn. Like, I liked the idea that she was a medical worker out here busting her fucking ass day in, day out, trying to get this paper, scraping it together so David could have this good ass education, and he was just a fucking brat for not appreciating it. But then when you turn it into that she was just a fucking monster like everybody else, I kind of don't give a shit she died.
Wow.
Kind of don't give a shit now. Like, I feel like she fucked up. I feel like maybe that drive-by was for her ass.
So how did you like David's first job?
Dude was fucking up.
Wasn't he?
Dude was fucking
That
up.
was a horrible
Dude
first
was
job.
fucking up. And I like how he talked all that cash money shit, and they was like, all right, go for it. And he was, my bad. Oh shit.
Saying Claire was a Edge Runner is kind of a bit much. She was ripping cyberware off of the corpses she'd pick up and sold them to Edgerunners. So she was known by Edgerunners out and about, but she wasn't one.
Right.
She was
But
basically her own black market
But she
thing.
was a fucking criminal, is what I'm
Basically,
getting at.
yeah, she's still a
Right.
criminal.
She's a
Yeah,
fucking
because
criminal.
everyone's got to make their way somehow in this world.
Everybody got the strap.
Everybody got the strap. We saw,
I don't know. I just think it changed the
dynamic.
of the story.
like, she's not
really-
so innocent.
Right. Because, like,
Yeah.
all right, it was like, all right.
David's not so
You could
innocent.
understand.
David-
you could
yeah.
understand that maybe she was a bit rougher. I like that part of her character. Like when you met her, I was kind of devastated when she was gone. I thought she was cool as shit. I couldn't wait to meet David's mom later. You know, see what more she could do. And it was like, oh,
Nope.
They clapped her.
Nope.
And then it was like, all right, cool. But she was out here working hard, busting ass. She left living a good legacy. And then it was just like, oh nah, man, your mom was out here murking motherfuckers and selling parts, and she was illegal just like us. She was a piece of shit, just like us. I didn't like that.
I have a different opinion about Rebecca than you, but
About
We're
Rebecca.
going to get to Rebecca.
We haven't
So-
gotten to Rebecca.
No, we
haven't-
have not really.
almost made
I
Rebecca.
was talking about
Because
Martinez.
this is right before David joins the gang. They like let his ass go, but he gets in contact with him again, and Maine wants him to work those the subways again.
Mhm.
He wants him to steal all the credit
Credits.
shit, and then like he asked and asked and asked, and then finally gave him that job to go steal that car. Now, people who haven't played the game, that is an expensive ass car to get a hold of in the
It's
game.
got 6 wheels on it. It better be.
That shit is
6 wheels. I saw the
expensive.
front. I saw the front of it. I was like, God damn.
Yep. And David's sitting there, can't even drive, trying to get the shit to unlock so he could fucking
Trying to look cool in front of Lucy.
He didn't even want to steal the car.
Bro, I like how dangerous that was, but Lucy was chill.
Oh yeah, the whole time.
She's
So like the way it works is like David's like level 2. Fucking Lucy's like, oh, this is first time.
Level 20.
Level
Yeah.
level
like,
20.
Like Lucy was taking your Charizard to fight a fucking Caterpie. And David, in fact, was that Caterpie.
But yeah, he steals the car or enough. Like he takes it away from him and goes to a chop shop.
he gets kind of a name for himself for stealing that car.
That was a
You
big
know?
deal.
That was
It was
a huge deal. And then the street world, right? And which is when
They go into a
He really-
montage.
well, he kind of starts to settle in with the gang because that's his new family. You get him to see. What's really cool about the show is you get to see David get his first piece of chrome, right? The Sandevistan, then the synthetic lungs so he can keep up with Lucy while training. His first gun,
Mhm.
he gets like the cheapest gun that you can get, right? And not even the one that you can get out of the vending machines because you can get ones out of vending machines in that world.
So
It's like
one
a-
use.
It's like $100. You pull the tab on it, it's like 60 shots, and then you're done. Steve has his hand raised.
Well, I just wanted to bring up before we got like further into it. I did like that scene where Maine and David was just bullshitting, like just sitting there right beside Maine's car and everything, like drinking and talking
And he
about the
teaches
past.
him how to drive and all that shit.
Like it was like a really cool scene. I really liked because it was.
He's a big brother.
It reminded me of, and it might not be just this movie, but it reminded me of Walking Tall. If you ever seen it with The
With
Rock,
The Rock.
and
Yeah.
Mhm.
when they're ripping up the car and they're eating and they're talking the whole time, ripping it up more.
Oh, talking
Yeah.
to
That's-
shit to the dude.
I
in
don't
the
think
cage.
it's just that movie because I'm thinking of a different movie, but that's the only movie I could think of right now of when they were just sitting there chilling, talking about the last job and everything, and then they would just pop in like fucking David running for his life, just making it, and then bring it back to them just chilling, and then bringing up another fucking like it just showed
because
him,
he's trying to get close to Lucy.
but it showed him building up and everything. It was really cool. I thought the Lucy buildup was just a little tad bit later, like when he got
like he's
established.
trying at
when he
this
got
moment.
established,
Yeah, he's trying at this moment. He gets established a little bit. They get now. Here's where everything starts to blend together just a tiny bit.
no, this is when the brother dies.
No, that's later because he gets with Lucy and then that happens.
No, ma'am, you're mixing a few things up.
You're skipping like two episodes.
When he got with Lucy is when he got swole and shit went down.
you're skipping like half the shit that happened. Like
Yeah.
the no, Steve.
It's like one of the subplots that the show was like going with a lot was like overchroming and shit. And I thought that was really cool. And I was actually kind of wondering, is that something that can happen in the game? Like, is there like
I am glad you asked.
like a system in place for you to like keep yourself in check?
So, kind of.
Okay.
So the way the game works and the way they explain it in the show, because they tell you over and over and over, everyone who's like when it starts happening to Maine, that shit hurt when it started happening to Maine. When you saw it at first, where he started shivering and shit.
Talking about what he did to Kiwi and shit?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Bro, that was a black hole in her.
But I'm gonna explain it with the game.
This.
So the way they explain it in the game, if your body can't handle it, your mind can't handle it, whatever, you're not going to be able to put this in, right? So like if I say I wanted to get the Sandevistan that that David uses is the 5th version of that Sandevistan.
Right.
Because that's just that brand. There's multiple ones out there.
So like in the game,
so
what is the limiter that they use to keep you in check?
I'm getting to it. So basically, they want you to. It's not really that your character starts to go psycho. You're not allowed to put in too many implants. Like your character in the game's called V, right? V's not out here with the armored skin and all that shit. Like every single limb has a fucking implant in them. That's not what he does. Right? He doesn't overload his brain with that shit. And if he puts too much in, he takes the rest out because if I put this in, this ain't going to work out. Right? So the game doesn't really do that to you. The only way it really kind of does that to you is having Johnny take over, but that's a whole different story. Okay. Because there's a fucking terrorist living in your head in Cyberpunk.
So like your character can't go crazy.
He can't chrome out like everyone else in the show.
No, he can't go cyber psycho. He can't get cyber psychosis.
No, but they do have in the game. You're trying to cure cyber psychosis because everyone around doesn't believe it's a thing, right? All the insurance companies and the corporations are like, that's not real. Don't do that. Buy our implants, all this shit, right? And they're trying to cover that shit up.
Right.
So your character in the game is going around because you're contracted through the NCPD through one of their deputies or their lieutenants or whatever, to go find cyber psychos and incapacitate them. Save them if you can, kill them if you gotta, right? Obviously, if you kill them, you take a pay cut because they want to save them, but they're trying to treat cyber psychosis. Mm-hmm. So it's very much a thing from the game that they took and they built upon in the show. Okay.
Like what it's like when that shit goes rampant in the streets or whatever.
Not seeing what happens as it happens, you know? Because like there's even a part in 2077 after the show came out where they put a quest in, which the start of it is a brain dance you find in a trash can, and it's the guy at the start of the show. Okay. It's his perspective. Okay. Right? We see it's animated like the show. It's a clip of the show. Right. Right? But it comes with a message at the end saying don't end up like David Martinez. Because that's what this whole show is you're watching somebody slowly fall into the wrong, like not into the wrong thing, but go too much, you know, because he's living on the edge as it is, but you can only handle so much. And
honestly, I don't think that's what the show's about. I have a disagreement with you about it, but I do like your take on it. Like to sit there and watch them slowly fall into that, like. I think that's a pretty cool take.
The way Cyberpunk works, the way Night City works is nobody ever gets a happy ending in Night City. Right. No one. Absolutely no one. Not David, not Lucy, not Maine, not fucking Rebecca.
Not that dude with the 3 eyes.
Adam Smasher.
No, the dude with the 3 eyes.
The dude with fucking Faraday?
Yeah, Faraday.
Oh, you mean Gus from fucking Breaking Bad? Did you watch that shit in dub? Please tell me you watched it in dub.
You watched it in sub.
Did you watch it in sub?
I've never seen anything from about Breaking Bad. Oh. Not a damn.
You don't know who Gustavo is? That's the voice actor for the show. It took me like 3 episodes to figure it out.
Okay, yeah. That guy. The dude with 3 eyes.
If I showed you a picture, you know who I'm talking about. I'm serious. Anyway. So we get to see David grow up a little bit. He gets deeper into the crowd. They have some moments where they got to go save other teammates. I personally like the one where they have Rebecca in the safe because she infiltrated. That's Maelstrom. That's one of the gangs out in Night City. They believe that if you have skin or you have quote unquote meat, you're not allowed.
Oh.
They're intentionally trying to turn themselves into robots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So couldn't a lot of them go cyber psycho?
Yes, but they're not using military grade hardware. A lot of implants out and about, especially with street gangs like that, are ones they butchered from people. Like, people get kidnapped on the street and stripped of their implants just to be sold on the black market.
Yeah, like it was kind of common to see like Manus claws.
Right?
On
And like
people.
you even saw one of those chop shop essentially with remember the part where David was in there and he got bashed in the head with the fucking baseball bat by the dude with the staticky mask.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those chop shops. They was tearing people up in there, taking their implants and selling them on the black market.
Makes sense.
But you get to see him grow up a little bit, which is really cool. And he kind of adapts to the world that he's been thrown into. And then things start to go downhill.
Things don't go downhill.
Things go downhill almost immediately because they run into one of those cyber psychos.
Hold on, but really, well, that kind of started the downfall, but I really feel like Jimmy Fudasaka, what's it called? Morasaka?
The principal?
No, not him. That's Tana. That's
the
Tanaka.
BD editor.
Yeah, the Jimmy Kurosaka. That's what his name was.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty cool part of the show.
The guy that was like the shit with BDs. That's when I felt like the show kind of started going downhill.
Well, they started
like, do you mean the show goes downhill or like their story is starting to take a turn? Like, what do you mean?
Their story takes a turn. My bad. I don't think the show went downhill. I just feel like the story kind of changed a little bit.
Right.
Like it went to a different direction.
I kind of like that dude. The dude that was the shit with BDs. I kind of liked him.
He was all right. He wasn't like a bad guy, but
he was stupid. And I like how they proved that point that he was stupid. You know, dude with the needle gun and shit. And you just gonna stand there like.
You know what made me mad? He still died, but he had platinum coverage.
Right. And he smiled about it too. He was like, y'all fucked up, right?
Like, I got platinum coverage and like he still died. Like, I was like, then I ain't no platinum coverage. If I had platinum coverage, you got
hey, bro,
organs.
Trauma Team was fast as fast as they possibly
you
could be.
got organs in the thing. Gonna fix me before I get to the hospital.
the person who caught it the worst with Trauma Team was the principal.
Yeah, Tanaka.
Maine.
Oh, when
they showed up and he got thrown against the wall.
I thought that was MaxTac that showed up.
It was Trauma Team. Trauma Team showed up.
They both showed up.
And Maine was going psycho, so he took Guy's body and cut 3 of them in half. And was like, patient confirmed dead. And they're like, we're out. Go.
It's like, to my knowledge, they showed it like twice. Like when 2 different corporations would show up. Mm-hmm. And one of them would go, whoo, your fucking problem.
Yeah.
And then hightail it. And I was like, that's fucked up, bro. Like, like when Maine was going nuts. Maine was cool, man.
That shit hurt.
I really did like Maine and Doria. There it is, Doria. They're pretty cool,
like,
but the show starts to go kind of like okay. Before we just like jump right into Maine dying. I really like the build up that you got with Maine. And the episode he died, I was like, oh shit, we're about to lose Maine. I've seen enough of these shows, and when they show a motherfucker in the past and they look extremely different than they look currently, oh, you dead.
Mm-hmm.
This is your last episode here, pal.
we started losing members of the gang very quickly. Like after Pilar,
dude with long arms.
Dude, that shit come out of nowhere.
He had long arms.
Mind
it wasn't
you,
just his fingers. He had super long fucking arms.
I'm not saying he deserved it, but he should not have been fucking with that dude pissing off the side of the shipping container.
I don't give a shit that he died. I just like that it turned Becca up.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the fucking did.
Like
she
Becca,
got so mad she shot his corpse.
Bro, Becca looked like she was always casting somebody in the genjutsu. She looked like she forever had that shit going on, and purple and green and yellow eyes, and like the Harley Quinn-esque like setup she had. It's like she was like elite, super loud with big ass fucking comically sized hands. Like, what are you gonna do with those? Punch the shit out of something?
That shit was funny when she met David. She opened the door with the gun. So what you doing here? Oh, you're Amazon? Oh, I got a package for you.
No, it's I just want to talk about Rebecca because you guys like I don't dislike Rebecca. I just feel like she's a little bit more of a bark than bite.
Rebecca has plenty of bite.
Yes, she does, but I think that her bite, her bark is just a little bit bigger than her bite.
If you had to classify Rebecca as like one of your common like team members, D&D style, RPG style, what class does she fit into?
Barbarian.
Hold on. So Cyberpunk does have classes. She is in fact a solo. A solo's a warrior, basically, a warrior class. She's good with guns. She's your muscle.
So pretty much you can say that she can solo a whole team.
Maine and Dorio were our muscle. Becca was not even close. Like warrior.
Rebecca was our muscle.
Not at all. After they died, yeah, she became the muscle.
Not even then, really. Like she's a really good distraction character, like one that can take the aggro off you. Like that's what, and she showed that plenty of times. Like because like her guns were powerful. She talked a lot of shit. She would taunt a motherfucker constantly. Like you'd almost have to want to slap the fuck out of her if you were out there on the battlefield against her. You would want to like fucking kill her real quick, and then David comes up behind you and fucking it's over.
So, other than the beginning of the episode, I feel the same way you feel, Kadawfi, about Maine and his descent into madness.
It was cool to watch it. It was pretty cool because like you knew it was coming, and they told Dorio told his ass was like, "Yo, son, slow down. Like take just a little bit off so you ain't out here. Nah, I'm good.
I can survive.
Fucking man, man. And then he died for nothing, really.
He gave Doria a Viking funeral.
That was dope.
He gave Doria a really cool Viking funeral, but like he died for nothing. Like he drove himself mad for that mission.
Nah, it's end of the road for me, boy.
And didn't fucking have to. Like not even like in the grand scheme of things, hindsight being 20. It was like he just didn't have to. There was no need for him to be that fucking hyped up. Because like if he wasn't so hyped up, the mission would have went by successfully.
He fucked everything and then blamed everyone else.
He fucked it up. He fucked it up bad because he was tripping the fuck out. And I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like Dorio was a little responsible too for not stopping his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dorio could have stopped him. I think physically she could have stopped him.
I don't know. When he went Cyber Psycho, she couldn't
Before he went Cyber Psycho.
Yeah.
She beat his ass awake though. She was beating the dog shit out of him to wake him up.
Sure. I mean, that was pretty awesome though. Like watching the process of him seeing it and seeing that he's tripping the fuck out, but then like at the same time, like, no, I'm straight. Fuck, I'm fucking up. Oh, I'm back. Fuck, I'm gone. And every time he comes back, there's just more bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There's just more bodies in the room. And
hey, watching him his berserk when he freaked out finally, like for real, that was the best fucking scene with Maine.
Felt like I was watching a Jason movie.
When Maine was about to blow everything up and told David to get the fuck on.
And he fulfilled his promise too, didn't he? When David said when he was thinking about his next piece of chrome, he wanted Maine's arms.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "I'll tell you what, if I get zeroed, you can have them." He got one.
Yeah, I like when David got back to see Lucy. You know, at the end of that explosion, he's ward slapped the fuck out,
mm-hmm.
and it's just like the episode ended. I kind of thought that was like that quiet, that because like Lucy was tripping the fuck out. David's obviously hauling ass. Maine's dying. Dorio's gone. Fucking, I don't even know where Becca, Falco, and friends were at the moment.
Falco picked up Kiwi because Kiwi got beat up by Maine.
Kiwi got smashed. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like I like just that silent, and now it's over. I thought that was really good. And then we transitioned to essentially a new life for these people. Like it's the same life, but it's like the next couple years.
Yeah, David took over.
David chatted up.
That's like a year.
David did. He like Chaddock McChatterson.
hey, Steve had a problem with this the first time he saw it. Remember when after it showed that David was running his own crew, he like built up a name for himself in the city.
Yeah.
And they had that new guy on there, the FNG with him at. Like, it's like, hey, you ever shot a gun before? Here's a fucking double barrel. Don't kill yourself, right? And then they get to the part where they fight like basically the mini boss, and fucking David just pulls off the jacket, activates the said damn stand, flips over the guy, and blows his fucking brains out.
Now,
and then
you talking about dude with the hammer?
Yeah,
bro, that was like the coolest kill.
That shit was awesome.
Because like I love when they went back and showed it, like when they showed what you saw, and it was like David shot the guy while he was upside down, but when you can see it, David was standing behind him, and it was like, damn, that's not how that went, but that looked so cool.
No, but Steve had a problem with the way David looked when he was ripped out because like he saw his tracks. Like his fucking, like he was doing this shit, and this shit was stacked 6 feet high.
Motherfucker got a giraffe neck up in this bitch.
He did too. He had a thick ass neck. That shit.
I
was
didn't
great.
like how the FNG fucking just like got
ran into a fucking mine.
Ran right into a mine.
I bet you didn't like that because that was you.
That was me.
Splattered
was
all
you.
over the wall. Too.
Wait, don't go over there. I'm gonna do it. Blah.
Yep. Rebecca's like, oh, there goes another one.
There goes another.
Let me get my gun back.
No, but we
saw her ass.
Rebecca was. If you think about it, Rebecca is second in charge, and then there's Falco
because she stuck around because Lucy skedaddled.
Sorta.
Because she stopped fucking with David for a little while because she was sad. I don't fucking know.
No, because she got into the Arasaka head and saw some shit that.
Oh yeah, the shit with David.
She wasn't like sad. She freaked the fuck out and was like, "We gotta quit this shit."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of like really starts to close out the story of the show, is like her seeing whatever the fuck it was she saw in the Arasaka president's head. I still don't really, I guess, I don't know. She tried to like delete it. I still don't really understand what she saw.
She saw that since we're approaching the end, David's group is contracted by Faraday, the
Right.
corpo they're fucking with.
Right.
The fucking nobody corpo that says he has all this fucking influence on shit.
And Faraday's a fixer.
Yeah.
And Faraday is trying to get in with the Arasaka or Militech corporations.
Right. And
Right.
he basically sends him to a trap for David to be a science experiment for these motherfuckers, right? With the cyber skeleton, the introduction to the cyber skeleton, which was a piece of cyberware that was originally meant for Adam Smasher, the living legend of Night City, the only living legend of Night City. So we got to see David like use all his implants at once just to stop the fucking truck. When he like got on top of the shit and then stopped the steel cables with his bare hands.
You just kind of jumped into the truck situation. What?
When they're heading towards the cliff or whatever, right? They're driving out in the desert and David jumps on top of the truck and they use their fucking grappling hook and shit.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Woof, you jumped on me over that one. Yeah. That was really cool. Like seeing him essentially become like a gorilla monster man, kind of like fucking Maine. He was like a gorilla monster man, and then like he was so fast because of the Sandevistan, and he was out there just tearing shit apart.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. It was like, damn, this dude out here is just punching everybody to death.
And this is the mission that Kiwi fucks them all over. Yep. This is where it all heads downhill.
It's like Kiwi set them up or whatever.
Kiwi was the only one I didn't think was going to do something like that.
Me too. Especially after like, because like she set Lucy up. It was like, damn,
Real
bitch,
bad.
of all people, you set up Lucy? Because like Lucy was like, she shouldn't have came out of retirement. Lucy should have did what the fuck she said she was going to do. And just chill. But you know, Edgerunners got an edge run.
Dick make her crazy.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, you know, fucking...
But hold on,
Lucy
you guys are
gets set-
saying that he's beating these fucking trucks up?
No. So
he
he causes an accident, and then Faraday reveals that he has a hold of Lucy, and the only way he could... Because Max Tack is coming, right? Them motherfuckers are here to pick up whatever's in this truck.
It's Militech.
Or, Militech. Sorry, not Max Tack, Militech.
Because he was it's a Militech truck, and they were taking whatever was in that Militech truck to Faraday.
Yeah, and the only way to get out of the situation was for David to implant the cyber skeleton.
Right.
That shit was horrible.
Well, it was an Arasaka truck, and the Militech was coming after it because they wanted that technology, and they were set up by Faraday and
Kiwi.
Kiwi, but it was Arasaka's plan the whole time. That shit got deep. It was Arasaka's plan the whole time to set this shit up and to get
It sounds like a heist movie.
To get Militech involved, so that way we could see David fuck shit up. He'd be forced to get into that piece of machinery, and then at Cyberskeleton, he'd be forced to get into it, and then Arasaka, some way, somehow, thought they were going to be able to capture David after that. They must have one hell of a Pokeball.
They did. They did have one hell of a Pokemon. They had a Pokemon.
Pokeball.
They had a Pokeball, and guess who was in it? Atom Smasher.
I had a Pokemon.
Motherfucker. That motherfucker right there. Arasaka had planned so far ahead that they already had Atom Smasher on site.
Yeah, those two
that shit was funny as fuck because like the corporals like, we got to get a hold of Smasher. Don't worry, he's sitting right over there. That my man's sitting in the corner posted.
Yeah, take up half the room, but nobody can see him. What the fuck, bro? How big you are? Which brings me to like my least favorite death of the whole show. Atom Smasher versus the our Cyberpunk crew. They don't have a name. Just, the
Edgerunners.
David's Roughnecks. Hooah! Anyway,
you talking about we're having a moment here.
Becca gangsters, they come. Becca, she in the battlefield. She gonna have a moment.
Wait, no.
Nah, man, I'm doing
too
this.
far.
I'm doing this.
Too far, because like we walking right past the part where
I'm doing this.
We walking right past the part where David shows up to the office trying to go after them fucking corpo people, and Faraday getting beat up by David, and he's like, Smasher, do your job. And Smasher's like, who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck?
Three-eyed having money.
I ain't getting paid by you. Shut the fuck up.
I do like when Faraday died and his eyeballs were still rolling around.
Yep.
That shit was hilarious. Like, so those were 3 fake ass eyes.
Mm-hmm. and then David gets a hold of Lucy and they fucking jump out of the skyscraper. And then
which that skyscraper jump was pretty cool. Like that was there's like a lot of really cool art direction that they took with this. Like,
yeah,
it's a pretty show.
They blended. I wouldn't call it pretty. I would say very interesting and fantastical. Pretty, no, nothing about that.
It's dirty,
right? Very dirty. Nothing about that show invokes beauty to me. Not even like looking at the city from the
moon.
Not even
the moon.
It's dirty. Everything's just so.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like Sasuke wrote the show.
But yeah, get back to your bae.
She ain't my bae by no means. Ill. She's fucking ugly. Becca's hideous, but she's gangster. Gangster as shit. Becca, motherfucker, talking that Cash Money shit with her little. Was she at the car? Where the fuck was she at?
She was on the ground.
She was on the ground.
But she had a shotgun. She was sitting.
David was sitting in a car. She was standing outside the car.
Oh yeah, because Falco was trying to get Lucy out of there.
Right. And so she's like trying to have like this moment or whatever with David.
Mm-hmm.
And what caught her attention? It was like a body or something. Faraday.
Yeah. Faraday.
When Atom Smasher drops Faraday out the fucking out the building, this is when his eyeballs and shit are all busted up.
Mm-hmm.
And Becca, knowing death is on the way, looks up with her fucking big ass cannon gun and it's like, we're trying to have a moment, and busts off a shot. It was too late.
Do shit.
It was way too late.
Yeah, triple replay.
Smasher was on her ass and like made a crater, not a Dragon Ball crater, maybe like a Pokemon crater.
Mm-hmm. Like a Yamcha crater.
Into the city on her ass. Like,
felt like it was a Yamcha crater.
I said not a Dragon Ball crater.
No, it was a Yamcha crater.
Man.
Hey, what did you think? What did you think of the stare down between the Smasher and David when we had ourselves ignorant moment?
Smasher talks so much shit.
He talked shit the whole time. Whole time.
He was like an exoskeleton or what? A cyberskeleton? Oh, a Sandevistan? Okay.
Boy, I didn't have that.
What a rudimentary upgrade. And I was like, David ain't coming out of this. Like, I actually did him like Jiraiya. I was like, David's gonna. Everyone. This is the when Smasher punched him so damn hard that all the implants came off. I was like, oh, shit. This hasn't been David's show. This was never David's show.
This has been Adam Smasher's show.
That motherfucker was never the main character. We were watching a series about a lackey up until the day he died to a real dude. And it wasn't devastating. It was really cool. It was actually really cool to see that because
Fun fact for you. Adam Smasher is the final boss of 2077.
I imagine.
He is.
He's like the living legend of Night City or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. He's the Knight of Night City.
You're getting revenge for Johnny Silverhand.
Fuck Johnny Silverhand. How about that?
You got revenge for David Martinez.
You damn right we did. The whole internet banded together on that motherfucker. And Rebecca. Rebecca.
Any last thoughts, MattMatt?
It's a really cool show. I went into it because I played the game before, right? And I had been interested in that genre in the first place. So when they introduced something to me that wasn't Ghost in the Shell, that wasn't Blade Runner, that everyone keeps saying to watch and all that shit, which I did end up watching Blade Runner, which is pretty cool. I actually watched that show at like I binged it all night one night when I got back from vacation after Christmas. So I didn't expect it to be, because I put it on in the background and like they started popping off shots on Gloria and David. And I was like, oh shit, we're getting down and dirty. And then I met the gang and it felt like a real feel good show. And it pulls you in with that and then it starts killing everybody.
Quickly.
Quickly.
You only got 10 episodes.
Oh, and if you didn't notice, the intro of the show entirely spoils it.
No. I'd listened to the song a few times. It was pretty. I actually watched the intro opening like 3 or 4 times, but didn't dive too deep into it. Just kind of let it.
Watch it again.
No.
It shows David getting his head blown off, just like you see in the show. Which, a little Easter egg for another little something for the game. Before Smasher delivers the final blow to David, he says to him he'd make a great construct. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
You'd make an interesting construct.
Yeah.
So what he's talking about is a program that Arasaka has called Soul Killer, where they take your or they put a machine on your head, and it makes an entire copy of your brain. It puts it on a USB stick, and then they send you to hell. Basically, it's a system for the rich that they use against their enemies, which puts them in a digital prison until they can make a proper body for them. But the ones that don't get a body are basically stuck in prison forever.
So why would he be a good construct if he'd be a good prisoner?
Because they could end up using him.
For what?
Anything they need to.
Turn him to another Adam Smasher.
They can turn him into another Adam Smasher. They can use his psyche to take over someone else. And
okay, well, see, that's not what you explained just now. Was they could put his brain on a USB stick and then put him in prison.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, what the fuck's so great about that? I'd be a great prisoner. Fuck you too, motherfucker.
They can experiment with his brain and all that. It's really weird because in that world you have the real world and then you have the net,
right? Which
they would be able to exist inside the net because there's that. Remember when they were talking about how there's the old net that was they can send him into that. They could use him. Is what I'm saying.
To do what?
To go inside the net, to be a net runner, to be their fucking personal lapdog inside of whatever they need to.
So he's saying that you'd be a good lapdog or
basically
a good prisoner?
Yes.
That's still like you're still coming back to great prisoner.
And then
it just doesn't seem like it'd be useful. Like the idea, the way you're explaining it, doesn't seem useful. And like maybe I just don't fully understand it, but it just doesn't seem like it has any fucking uses. Like that sounds like a throwaway line. But I feel like you're trying to say something I just don't understand. In all honesty, something I'm not grasping.
Kadawfi, last thoughts?
Oh, last thoughts? Cool. So going through this show, around the time when Lucy started telling David to chill the fuck out with all the upgrades, I was personally feeling the same way. Like when he came back with gorilla arms, I was like, man, now you trying to be like Maine. And she said like a handful of shit to him in their little moments that was like, David, she's fucking right, dude. Listen. There was like, he's like, oh, well, you don't have to follow your mom's dream. You don't have to follow Maine's dream. Why aren't you following your own dream? And he's like, oh, well,
I have a job to do.
I got shit to do. And it was like, bro, what the fuck do you have to do that's so important that you can't just go to the moon with your girl? Like you said you would. Like you promised you would. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Besides,
I gotta die to Adam Smasher.
Besides running this crew that you don't have to run. Like, why the fuck are you doing this? Why are you combing up so hardcore? And it's like, I thought I just kept coming back. What the fuck is this kid doing? And that all makes sense now. At the very end of the show, it all finally clicked in for me. Lucy was Arasaka property. She eventually was going to get hunted down, whether David knew that shit or not. Like exactly, I don't think David knew exactly what was coming for Lucy, but something inside of him said, I have to do everything I can to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do everything I can. And if I have to sacrifice how fucking my brain, then so be it. I'll be retarded to protect Lucy. And he did. And she got to go to the moon without him, unfortunately, but without him protecting himself or sacrificing all of himself like that, Lucy would have ended up dead or captured.
Or captured and dead.
Or both. Or she would have been a construct.
She would have been a far better useful construct.
Maybe. I mean, she had Jean Grey powers. But like, I thought that was really kind of like the overall point we were really getting. You know how I laughed about David not really being the main character? Adam Smasher wasn't either. Lucy was. And I'm curious. I want to know, like, maybe if they make a, Cyberpunk Part 2 or whatever, 48, whatever the fuck it is, I'd like to hear maybe what Lucy did in the future. Like, maybe she did something. Maybe she created a new something that does, I don't know.
If she was smart, she got the hell out of Night City.
Well, she did. She was on the moon. But, like, what's next? She got away for a little while. Liquid Gold?
Final thoughts?
Maine was the realest. I would want them gorilla arms. I would like to try to go Cyber Psycho one time in my life. Show was 10 out of 10. Would watch again.
You'd end up like David in the hospital where he blew that fucking nurse's brains out because her face started melting. That shit was crazy. That shit turned into Akira.
But
that shit turned into Akira and Claymore and Matrix
all at the same time,
and Ghost in the Shell all at the same time. It was like, damn.
Ooh.
But Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I didn't think I was gonna like it when MattMatt told me about it because I thought it was just gonna be Cyberpunk 2077, just in an anime.
Well, I mean, there's no DLC for that, so
but it's not.
They just give you the whole show.
Not yet. They're working.
It's kind of like a prequel, and yeah, I like it. It was a really nice show. MattMatt, you did good.
Thanks for tuning in to the Fighting Couch Potatoes. Don't forget to check us on our social media. We got Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all at the Fighting Couch Potatoes. And don't forget, April 4th, we're premiering on Spotify. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by.